Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I have our top 10 to invest in for the month of July 2021. Now, it's important for me to say at the start what this video is not. This video is not the top 10 characters in the game. I don't list characters that are really powerful. Let's say a Thanos is never going to sniff his way into his list because Thanos, while he's a fantastic character and I got a big Thanos and everything, his best days are behind him. This is about the top 10 characters to invest in for the future based on future value. Essentially, the focus here is what characters do I think are going to have the most lasting value in the game? The safest to gear, the safest to put ISO on, red stars on, etc. Because all of us are trying to combat power creep. We're trying to invest in characters that are going to give us 6 months or a year worth of top value before they start declining too much and work their way towards the bottom of our roster. All right, so let's get right into it. What I'm going to do, this is always a popular video. I'm going to focus on what dropped off first from the last list, the last month's list, which I will link below. So from last month, the one character that dropped out that's out as an honorable mention is Black Bolt. You know, Black Bolt is a character that has long been considered one of the top characters. Certainly when I first started playing was, maybe the best character in the game. He had fallen off, but he was back on the list as an honorable mention last month because he has that passive that prevents characters from being revived. And the thought process was he had become important in war because of Heroes for Hire. Now you have a revive mechanic on Infinity Watch. Maybe he'd be important again, and not really. Now that Infinity Watch is out there, the value of Black Bolt as a Heroes for Hire counter has actually gone down because you have a better way to counter Heroes for Hire, and you really just don't see people using Black Bolt much to combat Infinity Watch in Arena or War or elsewhere. So don't think he's really panned out the way that I thought he would. Certainly still a good character, a useful character, but just not a character that you'd want to invest in too much of the future because he's just been power crept so much already. All right, so now let's go to our honorable mentions. And our honorable mentions, there are 4 of them, and they are here in no particular order: Night Nurse, Doc Ock, Symbiote Spider-Man, and Longshot and Shatterstar. I guess let me start with Longshot and Shatterstar. I had Longshot on the list at number 7, and he's been on the list since the inaugural list. Back in March, I had Longshot as second behind Doom. He has steadily declined since then, and of course, the reason why is we've had an insane power creep era since that time, right? In the month after that first list where he was second, we had Surfer come out, then Kestrel came out, Infinity Watch came out. Like, there's so many characters coming to him. Now we have Secret Avengers that are just so ridiculous in terms of power level and stats. But look, this character is great. He came out in December. Fantastic character. I unlocked him right in December, brought him to DD4 when I was racing. One of the first 5 people into, the cosmic section and so forth, and was racing there. Amazing character, still very, very good. But now that Infinity Watch has entered the game, he's no longer in the arena meta. Just a couple months ago, this guy was, in arena teams at tops of endgame arena shards. Not anymore. In raids, and now that difficulty, what is there? Axemen are really crowding out X Factor in difficulty 1. And even in the cosmic nodes, in the 4.3 lanes, this character is making way for Infinity Watch. Still an awesome character, and has some life left in him because, of course, we don't have the 5th X Factor character left, but just not what he once was. He's definitely a notch below. Still an honorable mention, still worth investing in, particularly since X Factor is going to get that 5th member, and of course he's a legendary unlock, but not what he was 2 or 3 months ago. As for the other characters that are honorable mentions, Night Nurse is a fantastic character, but now she's not really necessarily part of the solution for the skill nodes in the Doom Raid. We really have an abundance of riches in skill, and up until recently, you basically needed to have Night Nurse and Red Guardian in the skill section of the Doom Raid. These 2 were basically mandatory must-haves, and now with all the Secret Avengers and Infinity Watch members and everything, you just have almost too many great characters, OP new characters to use with Kestrel and all of them. So really, you don't need those characters as much as you used to. As for Symbiote Spider-Man and Doc Ock, Doc Ock has been on an honorable mention for a while. Never has been the arena meta that you might have thought he would be, or the amazing standalone character that he once was. Still has a good kit, still useful in the tech nodes, still a useful character, but Sinister Six have gone down in value since in War. Not really an arena meta, just there in the raids. Really takes a backseat to Kestrel and Doom in the tech nodes. And then Symbiote Spider-Man, I got to say, in difficulty 1 of the Doom raids, the symbiotes are really power crept and are having trouble keeping up. They just can't damage the enemies fast enough because the enemies have so much health and armor and everything else, resistance. And so, this is a team that I think, it has a shelf life. They're certainly still valuable in the Dark Dimensions, certainly still valuable in Doom Raid. They're the best bio raid team we have now, but you just have the feeling that their lifespan is limited. All right, now we got some special cases. And these special cases are worth mentioning just to say that they really are very conditional. In other words, Colleen Wing, if you're super into Alliance Warrior, an endgame player, yes, she's the most important character to gear on Heroes for Hire, which is still an important team, but, they're a war defense team only. Nebula's great if you're going to, really focus on Infinity Watch as a team, but she's very team dependent. Once that team goes down in value, not going to be there anymore. Same thing with Phyla-Vell. These are characters that are great on their teams, but they're not going to be standalone characters. I mean, Phyla-Vell has some value in the Kree lanes of Gamma, but really other than that, don't see her as a standalone character. Sharon Carter, only valuable if you're investing in the full team for Secret Avengers and you want to have that full team. Otherwise, as a standalone character, don't see her being important to invest in the long term. Maria Hill, not even included here because she's just not fully released yet. I know you can spend a small fortune to get a 3 yellow star Maria Hill with no red stars, but I don't think we can fully test her and see how she is yet. All right. So now we're going to go to the number 10 character on our list, and that is Baron Zemo, who's actually down a little bit from last month. You may be wondering to yourself, well, hey, I love Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo's carrying my account. Why is Baron Zemo going down? Here's the thing. He's just getting power crept a little bit. He is a character from last fall. He hasn't been out a year yet, but it's getting there. And the power creep is being felt here because he's, first of all, no longer a necessary character for the Doom raid. It used to be you needed this guy for Node 2 of the skill section of Doom. You don't need him there anymore. For a period of time, along with characters like Longshot Shatterstar, he was actually in the arena meta. Not anymore. Okay, no one's running him against Infinity Watch, and he's just very brittle. So he's still a very useful character in War. In fact, I do show this list to other people and get their feedback before I just give it to you. It's actually a agglomeration of the views of a lot of players who I really respect and think highly of their views. Yeti, who's a really awesome player, taught me a lot. He views Zemo slightly above Red Guardian, who I have right above him on the list. I'll discuss that in a minute. I think, whether you have him as 9 or 10, I think Baron Zemo is still a worthwhile character to invest in because he has the speed and the quick ability block has a lot of value. I think he'll have value for some time because there are certain aspects of War in which you are going to want to have a guy who moves first and gets a quick ability block. So I think he'll have value for a while, but he's no longer this character you use everywhere and in every game mode like he was literally just 2 or 3 months ago. All right. And now we go to number 9 on our list, and it is literally a guy who is in the same spot as last month, and that is the Red Guardian, of course, who made his feature debut this month in a movie. Now, I will just say about Red Guardian is I think some people are predicting his demise too quickly. The reason he's still on the list, hasn't moved down, despite Captain Sam coming in, is he's a pre-taunt character. I mean, he's one of very few characters in the game who starts on spawn with taunt, and he starts with defense up. So Drax doesn't have that. I got to tell you, I use Drax in War all the time. either on offense or defense. He's a very useful piece because of that pre-taunt. Red Guardian is better in every way than Drax. He starts with defense up. He has a fantastic heal on turn 1 that actually gives defense up to the whole team. Defense up, by the way, reduces incoming damage by 50%. He also has that ability block. Just a fantastic character all around. The issue with him is just, of course, he no longer is required for the skill portion of the Doom Raids. Still part of a good war team. Still very good in the Doom Raid if you have gotten him out of the arena store and you've upgraded him. He's a great character, a great plug-and-play character. Still has lasting value, and I think he'll have lasting value even when Skeletori is no longer relevant as a team, but not what he once was in terms of his importance in the game. All right. Next character, number 8, a new character to the list, and that's a character who wasn't quite released last time I made this list, and that is, of course, Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock has been very much maligned. Various content creators, players are blasting him. He's not as good as he should be. He's not a mythic, legendary, or whatever they had in their mind. I got to tell you right now, he's an amazing character. And I understand that you can take this guy out and you can put the best character in the game or the second best character in the game or whatever. And, his team is still very, very good. But the fact that this guy on his team functions as well as like the best character in the game or close enough, that tells you how good this guy is. He gives a lot to the most important team in the game right now. He also, by the way, is a very good standalone character. Now, is he everything you might want him to be, whatever your imagination was? I guess not. I mean, some people have very vivid, big desires and imaginations for this guy. But here's the deal. I mean, this is a guy who does a 2-turn ability block that also does a bunch of other stuff on turn 1. On turn 2, he does stuns 2 characters. Amazing. A huge move that, frankly, you need to do something about in the mirror match if you want to win. You have to work around that. His basic extends debuffs and puts on extra bleed. It hits like a truck, and his stats are super, super power crept, okay? I only have 5 red stars in him, but mine's over 700k health, 30k damage, etc. These power crept stats really are going to enable him in the long run to have a long shelf life. I will just tell you now that the non-power crept characters in the Mystic section of difficulty 1 Doom Raids, they die so quickly. Sometimes Hela will die before she even gets a turn, whereas characters like Adam Warlock, Surfer, Doom, they're great. Adam Warlock, he revives. He gets the death proofs and stuff. He's just a very, very, very good character. Maybe he wasn't everything you wanted him to be, but he's really damn good, and he'll be in this game for a long time and stay relevant. All right, guys. Now we got number 7, and that is Moondragon. Now, she's down 1 in the list because we obviously have a new entrant here, but boy, I have Moondragon above Adam Warlock, and here's how you can see that this is not a top 10 characters in the game list. It's a top 10 to invest in, okay? Because I will tell you right now, if you had a match between, Adam Warlock and Moondragon 1-on-1, Adam Warlock, I think, may very well be a stronger character. What I like about Moondragon is that I think her kit has some features that are going to make her relevant in multiple game modes for a long time, right? We already see her on her team, but outside of her team, applying healing for 30% and applying defense down for 2 turns is huge in raids, for example, right? And then, here, being able to clear all positive effects from all enemies, from Emma how powerful that is. And then reducing that speed bar is huge. It's almost like a combination of Emma and Proxima Midnight. And here's the thing. What really makes me high on her for the future is Captain Sam was released around the same time. He's also skill, and he feeds ability energy to skill allies. I really think that combination of Sam and her is going to be great, because if you reduce the cooldowns on these super long cooldown abilities, 5 turns and 7 turns, that can, if she's doing this every 2-3 turns, that is going to make it very hard to kill your team to have 30% heals with all of that utility. So I think she's definitely got a long shelf life. Is she always going to be the best character? No, but what I think, is the sort of character this might be is more like an Ebony Maw, not in Dark Dimension, but outside of it, where as long as you got some energy battery, definitely can have an important role in the team. And of course has those power crept stats that we all are getting used to. All right. And now we have number 6 on the list, and that's Bishop. Basically held his ground because there was a new character on the list who came in who bumped Bishop down. And I will just say regarding Bishop, first of all, you should only be investing in Bishop if you have unlocked Jubilee. You shouldn't be, I know I see some players trying to bring him solo to Dark Dimension or something. It's not a good idea, but won't perform well there on his own. But with Jubilee and Beast, he's fantastic. And this character is just so important in the Doom raid. And that's really why I have him so high in the list is there's no question that particularly once you get to difficulty 1, the Axemen are the solution in the mutant nodes much more, whereas in the regular difficulty, you can use X-Factor, you can use Axemen, you can use a combination. But really, Axemen just perform much better in difficulty 1, and Bishop is by far the most important character in the team to invest in because he's their damager and their tank all in one. So getting a huge Bishop is super important. So to me, it's unlikely that they're going to be introducing a new mutant raid team that will outclass this team for some time. I think for the next 6 months, this is your mutant raid team. And so that's a safe character to invest in. Is he a top, 6 character in the game? No, but he's a top 6 character to invest in as a safe investment for the future. And that's what this list is all about. All right. And now we go to number 5, and that is Gamora. And I got to say, this is going to be a controversial choice because this character has gotten a little overhyped. And I will tell you that, Gamora is a character who I've gotten, the number one question I got this month is, should I put my promo credits on Gamora and put my promo credits on Kestrel? I literally made a video on the topic and I still got question after question. So here's the deal. I had a ton of gold promo, so I brought both Gamora and Kestrel to 7 red stars. And I will tell you, I deeply regret bringing Gamora to 7 red stars. She doesn't really do anything for me that she didn't do before. And the Infinity Watch team still beats the same teams. It doesn't hold any better on defense in Arena. Basically she stands around in skill and watches Kestrel just ping everyone to death because I have a huge Kestrel. I don't see it. Now, here's the deal. Why is she good? Why is she worth putting promos on? I did have her in my latest stock watch as I think 4th best character to put promos on. Because, hey, she's the best damager on the best team. So is she a safe investment? Yes. Now is at the peak of her value. So right now you are investing in, the best damager on the best team in the game right now. And I will tell you, I've done that before myself. I did it just now with Gamora. I did this with Thanos. I mean, last year, almost a year ago, I put a 7th red star on Thanos, and I don't regret that because this was the best team, and I put the best character and the best team to 7 red stars. That's all good. So by that logic, that's why I did this. But I don't think this team's going to be as good for as long as Black Order, okay, over a year at the top of the game. Don't see that happening, or almost a year, however you want to look at it for Black Order. But she's very good. That said, she's not going to have the shelf life of some of the other characters in this list, in the sense that she's in this list because she's great to invest in right now, and she's going to have super high value for 3 months, 4 months, whatever it ends up being. But some of these characters, the Red Guardians of the world, are here because they're going to be relevant in a year or in 16 months or something like that. Gamora, probably not. She's a ball of stats. So once she's no longer, her damage stats aren't special, she'll just go down. Just like we were excited about White Tiger, Colleen Wing, or whatever. She will, she'll be the next big ball of stats damager. That's great now. But when the new damager comes that's got more damage, then that'll be the better character. And that's just how the game rolls. All right? Still a great character. Still great in Arena. Still great in raids. Great in all game modes. So fantastic peak. But this is not the best characters in the game list. This is top 10 to invest in. And long-term, not as great, safe of a long-term investment. All right. Now let's go to the next character on the list, and that is Captain Sam. And one thing I want to say very clearly is this is not based on hey, I like the character. I don't do that sort of fanboy crap. So this is based on the kit. So Captain Sam has a couple things. It says three things that tell me that this character is going to have a long life. One is that the guy gives out ability energy. And you know that if you've been playing this game a while, these characters that give out ability energy tend to have long shelf lives, because as other great characters are in the game, they need a lot of them. You get these moon dragons that have long cooldowns but are amazing characters. You need a guy like Sam Wilson in there to feed him ability energy. So he works in any team, but he works the best, obviously, in a skilled team. Fortunately, there's a lot of skilled characters that came out around the same time. So I really see him as a character who, he's playing a defense up. He does, obviously, he's very survivable, right? But so in addition with that taunt, almost perma taunt, right? He's getting all the deflect and defense up, and ability energy, I think, is huge. The second thing is speed bar, right? We still use in war, in certain circumstances, the old Falcon character who sucks otherwise. His team is total garbage outside of the meta, but people will use Falcon because he has that one move that gives speed bar. Well, this character gives speed bar, and he gives ability energy, so the speed bar is great. Obviously, it's way better if you have skill allies, but let's say in a raid where there might be 10 enemies, you could get 100% speed bar for the entire skill team. Now, it doesn't work if you kill the enemy with this attack. That is an issue that you don't get speed bar there. But still, if you don't kill everyone with that attack, you're going to be getting some speed bar for your team. And the third reason I think this character is going to have lasting value is he's not only a defensive character, but he's got really super power creep stats. So he's got the second highest health pool in the game, for example. That's huge. So you got a character who's got super high stats, and he's got, in super survivable, and he gives out ability energy, and he gives out speed. So I view him as sort of a plug and play character who's going to be useful for a long time. He's a better version of Red Guardian, because if you compare, let's say, his stats, right, 659 or whatever health, you compare that to Red Guardian. My Red Guardian's totally outclassed. And this guy, now he's not the pre-taunt, but he has a couple things that really, I think, are going to last the test of time. So I think he's just a safe character to invest in. Now, do you need him at 7 red stars? No. Do you need him having every bell and whistle on him? No. You have to decide for yourself how high you need to get him to do the job, but I just think he's very safe to invest in. Very, very, very safe. I think this character will be relevant for quite some time. All right, but he's not enough to unseat the number 3 character on our list, and that's Silver Surfer. Now, you may say, well, wait, Captain Sam's amazing. You just convinced me. Captain Sam's amazing, and Gamora is the best damager on the best team. Why do you have Surfer ahead of these two characters? And here's why. Surfer's got ridiculous power creep stats, too. When I unlocked Doom back in the day, he had stats that, back in January, he was this character that was like so far ahead of everyone in stats. Now, Surfer came out with similar stats, and Captain Sam and Infinity Watch and all that, but Surfer still got great stats. But here's the thing. He has a unique kit that even when the stats aren't special is going to have value, right? The only character in the game that removes charges. The only one. So immediately out of the gate, he clears charges, which can be very huge, applies ability block for 2 turns. And then he has this unique thing that he does here, right? He's healing all the time and gaining speed. He very quickly becomes the fastest character in the game after a few turns. And then his basic, I think, is the best basic in the game, where he gets rid of all the negative effects, cleanse on his basic, and throws them onto the enemy. Or he steals all the buffs from the enemy, puts them on himself. Just very, very powerful and versatile basic. Amazing kit that even when this character is no longer top of the heap when it comes to damage, he's got some real special qualities to this kit that I just think makes him safe. He's plug and play, very safe character, and will be for quite some time. All right, well, you guys already know who the 2 top characters then are going to be. And the second one is Dr. Doom. And I will tell you that I'm sure I'm going to get flack from some people. Why you have Dr. Doom as the second highest character in the game? I mean, crap. Back in March I had him at number 1. He hasn't dropped much on the list at all. But the reason why is that Doom is amazing. When I got the character back in January, of course the stats were so much higher than everyone else. Other characters are catching up to the stats, but he has some things about him that are awesome. First of all, one of only 2 characters in the game that has 2 origins. So right now in the Doom Raid, that's double useful. This is a character, you put your gear in and you could use him in 2 sections. You put your ISO in, you use him in 2 sections. Amazing. And I think he's probably the best raid character in the game. You know, people used to get so excited about Greg with Hela that she had that summon, but man, this guy is summoning a Doom bot on every turn. You literally can get an army of these Doom bots. They have great synergy with like a character like Kestrel because they can ping and so forth, but they really, you know, the enemy ends up wasting turns attacking Doom bots instead of your team, which is huge. Then, of course, you've got this ability which clears all these negative effects and heals, can totally save your team if you're about to wipe. But then, look at this. Fills speed bar by 300%. That's 3 turns for this character and the ally with the highest damage. Even forgetting the fact that he blows up the other team with all the Doom bots, forgetting that, if you take, this is a turn-based game, if you take 6 turns in a row, you usually are going to win, okay? It's a huge I win button. It is very, very good. The character is very good. I understand it's another character where people griped it wasn't everything they dreamed of or whatever, but he's still a very good character. So very safe investment because this is a character that for quite some time is going to have a kit that, you know, no one else is going to have a kit like this one and the dual origins, and his stats are still really great even 6 months later. So I'll take it as my number 2 choice on this list. And of course, that brings me now to the number 1 choice on this list. The number 1 character to invest in should be an easy choice, and that is Kestrel. Now, Kestrel, I also brought to 7 red stars. No regrets here. I think she was an easy choice for me because I just view this character having such long-term value, right? Right now, she hits like a freaking truck. And she has this out-of-turn damage, which is absolutely huge on an ally turn. Anytime a defense down enemy is attacked, attacking for 400% damage. Just absolute beast, right? With the 37% damage. Great power creep stats. And of course, she's super survivable, right? On her turn, she's healing herself for 20% and clearing all negative effects and healing herself when she does so, almost like the Deadpool thing. Amazing, amazing. But here's the thing. Even when the stats aren't impressive, even when maybe every character in the game is going to have self-healing, she does some stuff that no one else does, right? I mean, look, first of all, it's really, really awesome to have the ability to prevent summoning or cloning. That's huge, right? Absolutely huge. That whole charged mechanic preventing summoning or cloning. The only character in the game who does that, she just shuts down Phoenix, shuts down Sinister, may shut down future characters who rely on summoning or cloning. She nerfs Doom to quite an extent. And then look, her ultimate, characters can't be revived. Awesome, awesome, awesome. She's got a lot of fantastic things about her character. I think it's a character that's safe to invest in. And the nice thing is a lot of free-to-play players got her to good star levels. Newer players got her to good star levels. I'm upset that she's now premium or exclusive. I think that's going to be really difficult for new players in the game. But if you have this character, it is an absolute no-brainer to max out this character. I keep hearing people say, that this character with Infinity Watch is still great. If you drop a member of Infinity Watch, well, no crap. It's the best character in the game. She's great in every team. She's plug and play. She's super awesome. And she's a character who will still be relevant a year from now. Maybe not the best character in the game, of course not, right? But still relevant, safe investment. And that's what you want to be doing in this game, everybody. Investing your resources in characters that are going to last the test of time. So you're not reinvesting resources a month or two later. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. If you disagree with this list, have your own thoughts, put them below or go to my Discord. That's linked below. We have a lot of great discussions there. Also, go to my Twitch stream. That is linked below as well. I try to stream most weeknights if I can.